few things I wanted to talk about before we continue coding, just to avoid confusion, is the SAS environment, right? So far, we've created a folder, right, called NHANES dataset. Oops, sorry about that. Right. And we haven't really put in files in there. What we're going to put inside of here are SAS 7 BDAT files. Now, this is the actual format that SAS Studio can use for analysis. In other words, if we are manipulating any data sets, they have to be in this format. We have another folder that we created on our cloud. Now, if this wasn't SAS Studio and you had a local SAS version where it's installed in your machine, these wouldn't be on your cloud. It would either be on your local computer, or a more safer route is to use a work network drive that's always backed up. So you have let me just so it's a little case sensitive, right? I don't think it's case sensitive, but it's probably a good habit to get into. And inside that folder, you have a few files. You have one called adult.dat. And unfortunately, that adult.dat is not usable for SAS manipulation in SAS Studio. It's actually not the best format to use. So in order to get that to SAS 7 BDAT for analysis, you actually have syntax that was provided by the publisher, right? And there was syntax called adult.sas. This is syntax from the publisher. They give it to you. All you do is you run it, and it gets converted to SAS 7 BDAT files, right? And we're going to call it some name. After we do this conversion, right, we're going to have a bunch of SAS 7 BDAT files. Maybe this will be called adult. I think it was called adult1.sas7 BDAT. And then there's going to be lab1.sas7 BDAT. And then there's going to be youth1.7 BDAT. Right? Once we run each one, right, so the youth, we would use youth.sas, right, that syntax file, and the lab is .sas, that's a syntax file. Anytime I say syntax, I mean the code, right? The .sas is the extension for SAS syntax, right? Once we are done creating these three files, we no longer have to reference this folder anymore. We no longer have to run adult.sas to do the conversion to adult SAS 7 BDAT. We're going to use these files over here that I highlighted. And the question is, how do you reference folders on your SAS cloud? Well, to do that, when you're doing manipulation, to reference this folder for analysis, we can point to it using a library name. We call it something, right? We're going to call this library NHANES, and then we reference this location, right? It's something, something, something dot NHANES dataset. And now when we reference this library name, we will scroll down, and if you scroll down to libraries, which is on the lower left corner, you actually see work is one of the libraries, that's a temp library, and the other one happens to be what we called it, which was NHANES. And if you double click this NHANES library, you will see these three data sets that are highlighted in yellow for analysis. So I just wanted to clear that concept up so you understand the flow. The libraries, remember, in order for us to do any manipulation in SAS, we have to ensure stuff is in the libraries. We have to create that library and then we do that manipulation. So I'll see you in the next video.